Hey folks, Chris Smith here from Smith Arms and Defense. So today we're going to do a review on the AXTS MI-T556. Some of y'all are already pretty familiar with some of AXTS's products like the Raptor charging handle or the Talon safety. Well, this is their rifle. So they just recently released a line of rifles, probably, I'm not 100% sure of it, probably within the last couple of years. These are really good rifles. My first initial impression of one when I first got to look at it was like, wow, the craftsmanship in this thing. I mean, everything is just real fine fitted and it works. It's really reliable. So today we're going to kind of go into some of the details, bring the camera down on the table. We'll go over from pretty much butt to muzzle. We'll talk about the features. We'll talk about some of the pros and some of the cons of this rifle, and then we'll also feature some shooting videos. We went out to the range earlier today, shot a couple different drills. We shot some five shot bursts just for timing and accuracy, see how she does. We ran the 22422 drill, and then we also did a double feed clearance using one of the features that we're going to talk about on this rifle. So strap in and we're going to go ahead and go into this. Alright guys, so we have the MI-T556 right out here in front of us. We're going to go ahead and go into the features from the buttstock all the way down to the muzzle here. And we're going to kind of talk about what this rifle has to offer. So, as far as the stock choices on this rifle that they offer, they have the B5 stock by B5 Industries or the Magpul CTR Enhanced, which I like the CTR better, just for my personal preference, because of the fact that you can lock that guy into place and it is not going to move. So moving forward, it has a 6-position stock on a really nice milled buffer tube. It's also got the little numbers on the top of it. I don't know if you guys can probably see that here, but it's got a 1, 2, and then all the way in the back you can read the other numbers. I favor mine in about the 3 position, just for my comfort level. So moving on, we have the Pws End Cap here. It's got a QD mount on it, which is really convenient. So for you guys that are running QD slings, I can't get that off with one hand, but that's okay. So that's a really nice feature on that. You don't have to buy an end cap for it. It has the, let's see here, I got my list here. Let me take a look because this thing's got so many features on it I can't remember all of them. Going down to the pistol grip, so it also comes with either a B5 Industries pistol grip or a Magpul Moad grip, which is nice. I like the Magpul Moad because of the angle of it, and then it also has got these adjustable back straps that help fit, so it can fit to your pull of the trigger, which is a really nifty feature. Moving up a little bit, so this thing has the AR Gold trigger in it. Some of you guys might be familiar with that. It's a really awesome trigger, so we're going to go ahead and bring it up here for y'all. So for this, all the take-up that has on this, that is all your take-up. And then when you pull the trigger, it is literally nothing. So when you, let me see if I can wrap it around, and then the take-up on it, or the reset, is literally that, and you're ready to fire again. So that's a really neat feature to be. Moving on up, so we got the Talon 45-90 degree safety, which is a really awesome feature. I love that safety. The throw on it's real quick, and you can get it back on safe real quick when you need it. Also has a titanium forward assist, which is really nifty. Mine needs cleaned really badly. Moving on up, it comes standard with the Raptor charging handle, which is completely ambidextrous, so you can access it either there or here as well, which is nice. I took these off, but it has the Knights Armament 45 degree angled sights, so for guys that run variable optics, it's a great feature on it. I don't run a variable optic on this, or I don't run a magnified optic on this one. So I took the sights off, put it on another rifle, and then I have the Imbus Pros on mine, which are awesome sights. We'll talk about those a little later. So it is, all of the metal parts are all in AXTS gray Cerakote. It's a really pretty finish to it. My brother and I kind of differ on opinions a little bit on this. He doesn't like that it's wearing right here on where the shell casings knock back and kick out. That's my opinion is that's going to happen on any rifle. I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, this rifle's been, I've run this in a class already, and you know, we were doing all sorts of different stuff, and I had no problems with the finish or anything. Then again, I haven't really dropped it yet either. But besides the point. So it is a billet upper and billet lower receiver, which is a, you know, for those out there that like billet uppers and lowers, don't really have a preference, but it is a nice feature. It comes with an AXTS, the AXTS bolt carrier, which is coated in black nitride, makes cleaning a breeze. I mean, literally you just take a rag, wipe it off. You'll have to hit the back of your bolt, the actual bolt itself with, you know, a copper brush or something, soak it in some solvent, and it comes clean pretty good, which is nice. Not a whole lot of maintenance to it, and it, you know, if it just wipes off, it's easy to clean. You don't get a whole lot of dirt on your hands, which, you know, it's kind of a nifty feature, kind of convenient. So now we're going to get into some of the really cool features, which I think are just make this rifle stand out above any other AR-15 on the market. So this thing is, like I said, 100% ambidextrous, and the design on this thing is actually really cool. So you have your magazine release here, which is, you know, like any normal AR mag release, but it's not. What's cool about it is if you push it down and lock and pull the bolt to the rear and keep it pressed down, it locks the bolt to the rear, which is a really, really cool feature. So it makes clearing double feeds a breeze. So I'm still kind of practicing it, getting used to this manual arms, because I'm so used to, you know, doing the traditional way of doing it, where you have to reach over, grab that ping pong paddle, and then pull your bolt to the rear. I have noticed that it does make my double feeds a little bit faster, but I'm still working on it. So eventually I will, once I get more proficient at it, I'll you know, release some more videos of that. It also features an ambidextrous bolt release, which sends that bolt home, and then it also features on the other side here, whoops, without knocking the camera off the table, it also features a ambidextrous magazine release, and then can't really see it here, but when you have your, let's see if I can angle this here, finagle this thing around here, you can actually, when the bolt is locked, they have it an oversized ping pong paddle to where you can actually reach up there with your trigger finger and send it home, which is really convenient. So everything is well within reach of both of your trigger fingers, which is really, really nice feature. Moving on here. So moving on towards the rail system here. It's got a, the barrel nut on this thing's actually pretty unique. It's got a heat dissipating barrel nut, which actually allows the heat all to dissipate out the bottom of this thing. So it, when you're shooting it, especially if you're shooting it suppressed, I've shot this thing suppressed, and the rail does not get that hot. It's actually very, very easy to grip without gloves, and with gloves, I mean, you barely even notice it, which I think is really cool. I ran this in a class back in, I think it was the end of, it was the beginning of August, it was the end of July, I think it was, I don't even remember. But I ran this thing suppressed the first morning, and I put probably close to 150 rounds through it, and just a short amount of time, and it did not get that hot, which I really like that feature of it. Moving on. So it's got a matching M-LOK rail system here, which is a really nice feature. I don't like the Picatinny rails on a quad rail being all over, so having my choice of sticking a little section of Picatinny rail for a light or whatever, it's kind of a nifty feature. I like that. Some people are really into the key mod thing. I mean, it's personal preference. Going into the barrel, which is, we'll talk about that in the pros on what I really think of this barrel. I mean, it comes with a 223 Wild barrel that's to their twist. It's a 1-in-8 twist, and then it comes in 10, 14.5, or 16-inch barrels. I got mine in the 14.5 with a pinned and welded muzzle brake on it, and it's you know, it's a really nice feature without having to make it an SBR. It makes the rifle somewhat a little bit shorter. You definitely notice it when you actually pick this up compared to any other 16-inch AR, just because of the fact that with the brake on there and the barrel on there, I mean, it's right at 16 inches, which is, I love that because the thing feels so much shorter. Then, as far as the gas system, this is a mid-link gas system, which I'm actually a huge fan of. I love those style gas systems just because of the fact that it's so soft shooting. So they have, so the muzzle brake, so I've got mine set up for a Silencer Co. Spec War K suppressor. It's got the threading for that specific type of suppressor, which I have right here. And you know, I can sit there and switch this to either one of my ARs that I want to, which is a really nice feature. This is why I had mine done the way I did. I know they do other brakes. When I talked to their customer service when I was ordering this rifle, they offered the ability to, you know, add any other brakes that you wanted on there. So if you have a, you know, another style suppressor like the Surefire or whatever, or an AAC or whatnot, they can, you know, put their type of mount on there, or their brake or flash hider on there, so you can mount that suppressor to it. Or if you have a favorite brake for like competition or whatever, they can do that too. I know some people are using these for 3 guns, so I've read anyways. So that's a pretty cool feature of this thing, that it's, you know, it can be applied to all sorts of different fields, whether it's competition, self-defense, or whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the range with this thing, and we're gonna test it out, see how she runs, and we'll do our closing comments. Hey guys, so we're out here on the range now, so we're going to put the MI-T556 to work. Let's see what she's capable of. We're going to do some trigger work today. Not really, we're going for acceptable accuracy. As you see, we got 3 plates up here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to kind of figure out how fast we can get this thing to go off. So I got my brother here, he's on the timer, and let's see what she's capable of. Alright. Alright, ready? Shoot this middle one. Yeah, shooter ready?
Shooter stand by.
Alright.
1.20.
1.20 with 1 miss. Alright, not bad. A little low. Alright.
Shooter stand by. 4 shots and 1.17.
Alright.
Shooter stand by.
Do it again.
1.23.
Alright. I think we got 3 rounds left in here. Let's go ahead and blow these.
Don't know if you can see that, but last 3 rounds.
Yeah, I got 3 rounds. Let's see how fast we can go.
3 rounds and 1.74.
So that was our first drill, our warm-up drill, more or less. Just firing 5 rounds on time, just kind of seeing how fast we can get some rounds out of this gun relatively accurately. It's shooting those rounds with roughly probably about a 3-inch group. Once I got adjusted, kind of forgot about the side height over bore issue. We'll also do a review on this optic as well here on next video or so. Me and my brother just both outfitted our rifles with these, the Churchicon MRO. It's actually the first time I've ever been out here running it, so we'll talk about that in a later video. So now we're going to go into the 22422 drills, see what we can do with time on these, and give you guys some ideas of how this rifle handles. All right,
Shooter ready?
shooter ready.
Shooter stand by. 2.91.
That's
not terrible.
Go ahead and do this again. Alright. I've been there for another one. We'll try, we'll see. Alright.
Shooter stand by. 3.20.
Alright. One more.
Shooter ready?
Shooter ready.
Shooter stand by. 3.18. Excuse me.
I missed 2 shots on the last target. I had to finish them off.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was like, that seems really, really fast. Anyway.
Hey folks, so we just finished up with the 22422 drills. So now we're going to go ahead and clear a double feed with this using the Ambidextrous feature on this rifle. So instead of having to go into the traditional manual of arms and lock it to the rear and, you know, hit the ping pong paddle and all that jazz, you actually literally do one control to actually do 2 motions. So it takes out a lot of time. We're going to actually time it and see how fast we can do this, and we'll see how she runs. So, all right, here we go. Brenda's going to start the timer for me.
Shooter stand by.
1
7.84.
7.84, not bad. Hey folks, so we just got back from the range. As you guys saw in the videos, this thing shoots really well. It handles really well. It's very flat shooting, especially with that brake and that mid-length gas system. Some of the other features, clearing a double feed is a breeze. It'll take a little bit more time, like I said earlier. I'm gonna run this thing through some more. I haven't had this rifle that long. I've had this rifle about 3.5 months. I got it mid-June, and I've got about between 1,500 and 2,000 rounds through it. Somewhere, I'm pretty close to the 2,000 round mark. I'm almost done with that can that I've got. So we're gonna go into some of the pros and cons here. Let me get my list again. So like I said, one of the biggest pros to me on this rifle is that it is fully ambidextrous. I mean, left or right-handed, this thing runs. And all the controls are all very well within every single reach of your trigger finger. All the controls work really good. They're all, very easy to press, very efficient. And I'm a big fan of that. I like efficiency in my rifles, and I like them simple. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's got more controls on it than I want. Well, that's personal preference, honestly, in my eyes. I don't mind it. It's taken some getting used to as far as having the, the ability to have an ambidextrous bolt lock, but, much like the bad lever when I was running one of those on one of my other rifles, I really like it. It's a really nifty feature. So the other pro on this thing in my eyes is the quality. I mean, these guys, you can tell they put a lot of thought into the creation of it. I mean, they did a really good job. I mean, every single step of the way, I mean, you can just tell that they took no shortcuts on it. And it's amazing. So the accuracy on this thing is phenomenal as well. Like I said, I want to take this thing out to a 200 or 300 yard range and make another video on that as we do that, kind of a part 2 video to it. Because we don't really have any ranges around here, not that I'm aware of anyways, that allow me to shoot 200 or 300 yards, or I'd like to honestly go 600 or 700 and swap out the MRO for the ACOG, and let's see what she'll do at 600. I mean, I'm really confident it'll hit. The guys at AXTS actually did a video, and it's also on YouTube. I'll include it in the link. And they shot this thing from 600 to 1,200 yards, and it was hitting target, hitting steel at 1,200 yards with 77 grain match ammo. So it's a sub MOA rifle. So the accuracy that you're getting in such a short package is phenomenal to me. I'm extremely impressed with that. Let's see, it's going. It is relatively light, despite all the the gadgets that I got on this thing. It is still right at about, I haven't put it on a scale, but I'm gonna guess it's probably about 8-9 pounds with all the stuff on it. Without all the stuff, I mean, the thing's sitting at about the 6 pound mark, if I remember reading that right. I'll go back and check it up on it and put that in the details. So it's still very controllable. I mean, even with it on, it's still very well balanced. I'm not getting fatigued when I shoot it, unless I put the suppressor on it. Then it's kind of front heavy, but suppressors do that to any rifle. So yeah, the lightweight makes it really nice. I really like that on that. It's a really cool feature. So go down the list. The recoil. There's no felt recoil with this thing, especially with that brake. The brake is kind of a trade-off, and we'll kind of talk about that in the cons. And that's just brakes in general as a trade-off, and I'll probably do another video on that when I talk about muzzle devices. So yeah, really no felt recoil, which is nice for me. It's not so nice for your buddy standing next to you, but for me, I like it. And then the last thing I got to say, which is probably the most important one, customer service. So AXTS, those guys are out of Salem, Oregon. So big shout out to you guys. Phenomenal rifle. I'm a very happy customer. I love your guys' products. You guys make some great stuff. Their customer service was phenomenal. They were extremely helpful with me. So I was downrange when I bought this. I bought it in February or March, I think is when I paid for it. I don't remember. But I think I actually finally, once I got everything done, I think it was towards the end of February is when I actually paid for it. I have to go back and check on that. But they were extremely helpful. I mean, I was very, very detailed. I knew what I wanted out of this. And I told them right from the buttstock, the pistol grip, the muzzle brake. And they're like, no problems. They helped me out with it. The FFL, this is the first rifle that I ever bought online. And I was kind of nervous about that because I didn't know how it worked. But now that I figured that out, I was like, shoot, that's pretty easy. And they literally shipped it to the FFL dealer that I wanted them to ship it to. So that was really awesome. So the customer service, like I said, they were so helpful with me. Every single time I called, I called them I think 4 times through the whole thing, just kind of see how things were going with it. I was, you know, every single time they answered the phone, they were kind, they were really, really professional. So big shout out to you guys on that. So kind of going to the cons, if you want to really call them cons, because I really honestly don't have any complaints about this rifle. But one thing that people are probably already dying to know, or probably fast forward to the end of this video to see what the price is. It is expensive. The baseline rifle is $3 grand. However, with that being said, the quality that you get out of this thing is worth it. Hands down, hands down, hands down. It is worth it. I remember when I went to go pick this thing up from the FFL dealer, and I was driving over there, and it was about a 5-minute drive. I just had gotten off work. I'm like excited. I went, changed clothes real quick. I'm like, yes, my rifle finally came in. And I went out there, and you know, on my way there, I just kind of got this buyer's guilt in me. I was like, Jesus, I just spent $3,000 on a rifle. Oh, I hope I like it. I hope I like it. I hope I like it. I'm just sitting there, kind of, you know, the anxiety kind of set in on me a little bit. And you know, I got there. She had it sitting on the counter for me. She was going to get the paperwork for me to fill out, and I picked it up, started playing with it. And I was like, nope, don't feel guilty at all. Absolutely love this thing. I'm gonna love shooting this thing. So, like I said before, I'm a very happy consumer on this thing. It's hands down one of the best rifles, one of the best AR platforms I've had my hands on. There's some pretty nice ones. Pretty big fan of the Daniel Defenses, Wyndham Weaponry, Seekins. But this one, this is my favorite rifle. This is the one that y'all will probably see me using the most. So the other con on it, if you want to call it a con, again, I don't view it as a con. It had a little bit of a wait time to it at the time I bought it. I don't know if that was just due to orders or whatnot, but I looked on their website this evening. It says that the wait times, or the shipping date, is about 2 weeks from the date of purchasing them. So I think they got everything up and running, and are really, you know, selling these rifles now because of the demand of these things. I mean, people really like them. So the wait time doesn't bother me because of the fact that, you know, you look at the craftsman on one of these. If you guys ever get a chance to go look at one of these or pick one up, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You can't rush something this well made. I mean, it is literally a very, very nice rifle. I mean, it's, what I was going to say is it's literally kind of like a piece of art, but yet I'm not treating it like that because it's, you know, my self-defense rifle. So it's, you know, it's a workhorse to me, but it is a very, very well-made rifle. So those are really the only 2 things that I could even find that's not even really, like I said, they're not cons to me. I mean, because it's worth it to me. But some other people out there might actually consider that, well, I don't want to wait that long, because it took them about 3.5, 4 months for it to actually get shipped to me. But it was well worth the wait, and I was downrange, so I wasn't using it anyways. So it didn't, yeah, that didn't bother me none. So, so like I said, overall, my overall view of this thing, I absolutely love it. It's a very reliable rifle, great rifle. I know I've said that like 4 times, 5 times in this video, or maybe 10, who knows. But I'm very happy with it. So I'll put the link to their website down below so you can see it, and then I'll also, you know, link, you know, Thunderbird Tactical down there, because they are the ones that actually got me onto this rifle. I'll link a couple of the videos. The video that Daniel Shaw did on it, it's a really good video. You know, 6 to 1200 yards, excuse me, video of AXTS, the guys from AXTS, Eric and everybody shooting it. Yeah, it's impressive. So I highly encourage you guys to look it up. So my overall view of this rifle, I'm a very big fan of it. I think it's got a lot of uses. It's a great all-around rifle for me. It's got a lot of applications. So I mean, if you want to put a variable optic on it, you know, you can use this thing easily for a DMR for the size that it is, or you can use it for a good, you know, close quarters weapon. Or I've got mine set up pretty much to be like an all-around gun. So it works for my needs. I've got it set up for my needs. I mean, everyone out there's got different needs, whether it's for competition, self-defense, or whatnot. So it's very versatile. So like I said, the links are down below. Check those out. If you guys like this video, subscribe. We have a Facebook page coming up, so as soon as we get that up, be sure to like our Facebook page. And always remember, guys, your right to self-defense is self-maintained.